I have to say the one thing that I really had a sense of as the day came to an end was a sense of admiration. And it was a sense of admiration for all of those that have been a part of the presentation today, but everybody here. You know, there's been great networking. The contributions from everybody has been great. And so many of our businesses, both large and small, have clearly said, you know, we're still here. And if you're struggling, we're here to help. So it was a great message. I'm going to just try and cover a few things in a reasonably orderly way if I can. I think as we started the day, both politicians emphasised the value of the relationship and the importance to New Zealand, and I don't think any of us would go beyond that. The PM emphasised that each of us, New Zealand and China, has different views and different values, but that only is a part of diversity. It's the difference that exists between them. I think Minister Parker stressed the value of our brand, and I think that's important. And he associated with it a sense of values, of trust, of honesty, respect, and authenticity. And both the Prime Minister and the Minister also referred to the on-the-ground support in China for business and the investment that, you know, that government has made for businesses, that we can no longer travel, but there's support there for us on the ground in China. The Prime Minister referred to tourism sector and referred to the need for a reset and referred to more value than volume. And that's going to be a part of a conversation I think that we will have as we go into the future. I think the CEO panel and the war story saw similar themes, but I think it was in New Zealand gave us a hierarchy of priority, and he talked about the customers, staff, suppliers and community. And he talked about the genuine care that we needed to have in respect of our customers, our staff, our suppliers and our community, and the change in business behaviour that has occurred because of COVID-19. And it has. I think there is a greater awareness of those four elements: customers, staff, suppliers and community. And the other issue that came out of there was, again, the importance of communication. And I think that came out of David Courtney from Zespri, the importance of communication, the importance of values. Greg Foran also touched on the size of the market, and so often we get statistics that are just a reminder of how big the China market is and what the opportunity might be. But he talked about 150 million tourists, and 450,000 of them come here to New Zealand. And of course the story then you ask yourself is, what are we going to do to replace that revenue and those jobs associated with the 450,000 that come to New Zealand? Fonterra spoke of the milk that goes into China, and I think out of him, a quarter of the milk that's drunk in China comes from New Zealand farms. But again, they kept on coming back, and the theme remained that when there's a crisis, there's an opportunity, and an opportunity for all of us. I think the learnings for me of, you know, how we've managed, you know, and that's been absolutely critical. How we've had to refresh our thinking, how we've had to rebuild our teams and rethink our behaviours and the way that we work, the investment that we need to make in our brand and our values, and the importance of remaining positive and with an attitude to solve. Fran, those are my knee-jerk reactions to today.
Sounds to me well thought out. Look, just to that, I'd like to add my thanks to all of you coming today. I mean, this event was put together at great speed, and I thank the sponsors, the supporting organisations, and all of the speakers who stepped up. It was, go back to what I was saying this morning, it was difficult. Originally we were May 4, then we were looking around July 1, and that didn't quite work. Then it was July 20. Would we be in alert level 1? Would we be trying to do some giant webinar? So the events conspired in our favour, and I think that's just been marvellous. Things that stand out for me is kind of the evolution of the relationship, and what I would suggest a more adult way of communicating our differences and our values and our interests. And I think we saw this in the Prime Minister's speech today, where she talked about difficult issues like Hong Kong and Taiwan and others, and the response also from the ambassador. So, I actually welcome that. We don't need to skirt around these issues. I see that as an evolution where we can talk about these matters, where we do hold principal differences, but however we share very much common interests and they're much to the fore. Just looking forward, CCTPP, the notion that China might get there ahead of the United States. You might laugh, Phil Goff. I recall you announcing in New York TPP and back in 2008. But, it's sort of been put on the agenda by the Premier in China. Also, the Prime Minister indicated she would welcome some sort of approach if that eventuated. And also, of course, Hu Shili, the Chinese journalist who spoke, they've been doing very strong advocacy through their financial magazine. So I find that interesting, the discussions where we are making good progress together on areas like free trade, keeping trade open, and I think David Parker unveiled a whole range of issues there. Looking at our CEOs, I felt an immense sense of pride at the way our leadership of businesses have stepped up. It's not been easy. They each talked about the impact professionally and personally, but they're all leading major organisations. And Greg Foran, the notion that you had a business which lost 99% of its business just like that, and what are you leading? And he just put it brilliantly, and he spoke from the heart, and I think we could all empathise with him. Just what is happening across our smaller businesses, the challenges they face, how they are also stepping up. I did welcome also the panel of Chinese speakers today. It was great to have your participation. I'd like to see more of it in this summit, and I hope you go away with renewed confidence that we can have conversations about your businesses and that you will see the examples from others today and follow in their footsteps. So for me, it's been a really exciting and fabulous day, and I do thank you all for taking part.